Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. So sorry for starting late. We're really glad to have you with us. Appreciate you coming here. Appreciate our speakers coming to the time to share about this topic as well. It's really great to have all of you. There's about 100 people watching online. Welcome, everyone. Sorry if the stream is too quiet or monitoring something. Just feel free to let us know in the comments. Just in case we'll try and monitor. If we need to adjust anything, we'll try. So yes, just a very big warm welcome to everyone. I know it's not a very big screen, but feel free to come and sit closer if you like. If you want, we'll do our best. I want to say a big thank you to Acton Academy for hosting us today. Acton Academy is a school, a very unique school. Looking for safe schools is quite an interesting place. But if you want to know more about the school, you're welcome to talk to Waywen at the back here and Dr. Kim Chin to you. So please feel free. Thank you so much. Alright, so we've got a very serious, disturbing, difficult topic tonight. I wanted to start off by, of course, offering our condolences to the family of the victim, SNK-BU4. I know that this is a very difficult topic, especially for people who have been affected by such things. And we try to be as sensitive as we can and apologize in advance for if we ever say anything that maybe doesn't come across so well. It is just something that's always very close to our hearts. Alright? So for tonight, yes.
Can you put your mic closer to
Yes,
your
okay. Sure, is that a little bit better? Okay. Please feel free, any feedback anytime. Thank you. So what we want to do today is to explore what we can do to prevent future similar violence. Right? We probably are going to try and avoid a little bit talking extensively about what other people should do. This is just something that I wanted to keep in mind because, again, it's a very emotionally charged subject, and there's a lot of things there are things that are more within our control, and there are things that are outside our control. Right? Of course, we can touch a little bit. Some of the speakers, I think, will touch a little bit on what schools should do, what the government should do. But I think tonight that won't really be the focus of our presentation. These are important questions, and I'm sure that the other forums will be discussing these things as well. But we want to focus on what parents can do, what adults can do, in our own ways. Right? So, and in the Q&A as well, we'll see how it goes. There's some we can't speak for the government, we can't speak for all the different schools and things like that. But just talk about what we can do as parents, what we can do as adults. Alright? So our focus, I think, and again, most of our presenters will be talking about our relationship with children at risk of being either end of such violence. Right? Whether I'm not sure what the right words are, but perpetrator or perpetrator, so just to briefly, I will give a short presentation, a short talk, maybe frame the event, and then Akram will talk a little bit about his own experiences as a young man growing up, that might be relevant here. And I think after that is Dr. Shameen, who's a psychiatrist, and has worked with UNICEF on policy, mental health policy. Then we'll be Gillian, who's a counsellor. She's also been doing some work with the actual kids at SNK-BU4. There might be a few who are not so familiar with the difference between a psychiatrist and a counsellor. A psychiatrist is a medical doctor, can prescribe medicine and things like that. Counsellors are usually trained in talk therapy, psychology, and things like that. Now, last speaker will be Dr. Hartini Zainuddin, one of the most prominent child rights activists in Malaysia, one of the most experienced and one of the most compassionate. I'll do the introductions again in the comments. Yeah, so basically all four of us will be focusing a little bit on our relationship with children at risk. Again, there's ways in which we can intervene or maybe change our behavior a little bit when we are trying to prevent people from acting violently. And then also there are ways that we want to try and influence or move children to make sure they don't become victims of such violence. The part about trying to make sure our kids don't become victims of such violence is a little bit more tricky, a little bit more difficult. It becomes very difficult to protect sometimes, from this kind of thing. So we'll try and touch a little bit on that, try to talk about a little bit about warning signs, educating our children about what to do if you come across this kind of people or experience, Again, it's a very sensitive topic, but we'll try a little bit on that. But we'll also be talking about how we want to try and stop kids from acting out violently. I think that'll be a big chunk of the presentation today. I think a lot of what we're talking about today will have to do with connection and disconnection. When kids feel connected, they feel disconnected. We're discussing that quite a bit. Understanding that's quite a central theme, I think. Alright? As we talk about these kind of things, as part of my just short contribution to the discussion, I noticed that there are some words I think that are more helpful and some words that are less helpful. So, sometimes we talk about violent, crazy, weirdos, incels, and things like that. I personally find these kind of words sometimes a little bit not so helpful. It creates a lot of space, alienation, which kind of goes in the ball. Speak without a mic? Is that better? Sounds better. Speak slow.
I think it's more of like hardware issue.
Hardware issue.
With the internet, I think.
Oh.
Maybe you can. I'm not sure. But let's try slower and louder first.
I'll try slower and louder. So sorry for the interruption. Tendency to talk too fast. I'll try to remember. The volume is okay, right? Okay. We'll try our best. Thank you. Yeah, so violent, crazy, weirdos, incels, these are sometimes words that we use when we're faced with such acts of random violence. I just wanted to maybe talk a little bit, especially about incels. It's kind of a slightly new word. It's short for involuntary celibates. It's like men who don't get enough attention from women in the way. I don't know. This term has been coming up a lot since the incident and things like that. There's a whole internet subculture of this kind of thing. But I think a lot of the discussion has also been very sort of like, oh, these are terrible people. These are, I mean, the subculture is a dangerous and terrible thing. But I think that when we use that kind of judgmental language, it pushes more people into that zone, right? It becomes when they feel like they are being targeted or they feel they're being attacked. It pushes them further and further into that subculture. So I mentioned that briefly. Right? Sometimes they use words like troubled, disturbed, delusional, slightly better. But I don't know. For me, I find lonely and disconnected to be slightly more useful ways to think about these kind of problems. I just wanted to talk briefly about reality-based worlds and screen-based worlds versus screen-based worlds, which I think also might have been something that's been discussed a lot recently. We find that a lot of children nowadays, right, spend a lot of time on their phones, the screens, more and more hours. Right? And I think I'm about 40, a lot of us here of a generation who remember a time before the internet, before mobile devices and all these kind of screens. And the world in which kids nowadays spend hours and hours and hours on the phone is very different. I've met people, children who sort of have trouble differentiating between what they watch on TV and reality. They start to see characters from their YouTube videos. And they tell you, oh, this cat is behind you, and there's no cat. It's just something I think we should take note of and realize that there are things that are happening, there are things that they are exposed to that we didn't experience growing up, so it can be a little bit hard to relate to.